So we can give us about 5 or 10 seconds and then go, okay?
Okay.
Start off with Ireland.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay?
Yeah.
You people have lived in a branch a fair many years, I guess.
Oh, yes.
What was it like in branch years ago as compared to today?
I mean, then there wasn't much houses or here than buildings or anything like that, see? There was years and now it's a big difference. And in fact, when fishing, you know, years ago, just a little small boats we call skiffs used to have then. But now they have the big long liners, you know. There's a big change. Big change. You know. And fishing then, you know, they used to take them like the hook, you know, and the jigger used to have then. But now there's a big difference. And in fact, they used to, you know, bring the fish in, they can split it and cut it and then salt it. And then they're stowed away like, you know, with salt and leave it in pickle for about 2 or 3 weeks around there. Then when that was done, then they'd wash it out and have flakes, you know, things just called flakes. Have them and make put in the flake and dry it, you know, make it up. And things just called kentles of fish, just have, you know, they call that time. And when the fish would be on made, then they'd store it away in a big place called a stage. And when that'd be done, then they get ready enough for merchants, and they sell it off by boats. That's what it was then. Back then.
So did you ever get to fish yourself, Mrs. Power?
Indeed, I did. I often washed out the fish, you know, when to be just ready for and make it on the flakes. Done all this, everything. Bring it in, dry it, spread it, turn it, all that.
So how about you gentlemen? Were you fishermen? Did you ever fish, sir?
I fished my lifetime.
And what was it like back then?
Well, it was all right, I suppose. Money was scarce. Same thing, you'd have to bring it ashore and split it, salt it. And after that you'd wash it out and make it. And then you'd send it down to St. John's. You wouldn't get much for it, only $2.50 for 120 pounds.
Is it different today?
Yes, an awful lot different.
How is it different?
Fish is more expensive now. So it was nothing different. But you get plenty food for eating. Get it in the mouth. You turn in all your fish. You take what food you like for the winter. When you're home boats. No going to shops. Not like now. The button you get now is in a paper bag.
How about you, Mr. Power? Did you fish?
Yes, I fished a long time, yeah.
And
I'm at it since I was... I'm 79, I'm at it since I was 15 or 16 or something. I fished a lot of years.
So what was it like?
It was all right. We hadn't much means for fishing that time on either. You had to knit the twine yourself for the cod net, and your trod and had a small boat. Well, you wouldn't have that much gear, but you count 300 or 400 pound a lot of fish, say, for what you be getting. Well, that'd be small amounts, say. But between the voyage, anyhow, you'd make up enough to get through with it for the winter. Till after a few years, we got traps, and everything was going good then, so we used traps a long while. We'd get big catches of the traps. We made more of the fish then than we did now, than we did that time.
What about farming? There's some beautiful farmland here.
Oh, yes, we kept a good many.
Oh, yes.
A good deal of cattle.
Yes, big difference now. Farming, you know, I mean, much easier now.
You get nothing for them to sell.
I mean, you know,
Only
years ago,
about $17 for them.
yeah, people coming out with trucks and, you know, just sell just a scarcity once a year or something like that. You know, people fair. Now, he used to bear here in O'Brien, you know, sheep and cats and stuff like that. But I think it's more convenient now than what it was at that time.
We tend to associate a lot of Cape Shore with, particularly branch with Ireland. Do you remember any stories from your grandfathers or grandparents about Ireland?
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
we're, I mean, all in fact on this side, we're all, nearly almost all Irish descent. I mean, our grandparents and my great-grandmother still came from Ireland.
How long ago?
Oh, I'd say that's for about 200 years ago. Handy that, anyway.
Do you remember any stories, them telling you about Ireland?
Well, I can't remember. I mean, I can't even remember her. I mean, by the time I grew up, she was dead by not my time.
What about you, Alvin? Do you remember any kind of stories they passed down to you? Or
No. No, I can't.
did they talk about Ireland? Like-
You stay, old people.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Now, my great-grandmother, she was a great dancer. She was a dancing, trained dancer when she came here. And she, she said, singing and all like that. She said that back in Ireland, she had two sisters besides herself. The three of them came here at one time. I think, they came over in the boat, Sweetman's boat. He used to have a boat going from Ireland to Placentia, wasn't it? Yeah, and they came over that time. I mean, but Ireland was almost the same as here, like, like the same kind of things you do over there, and the same thing, even up to now. They'll have the capelin comes in the land wash down there, and you have the horse and cart, because, in fact, I had a picture from a couple I knew, Aidan O'Hara and his wife, I wrote to them all the time, and he said it was just the same now as here, back then, the same, he says. And that's, Now, years ago now, it's different now than what it was. When you had your own sheep and that, you'd have to shear the sheep and card your own wool. Card it and spin it. I haven't done that myself. Card the wool and spin it and then make thread of it. And, knit it. I can do all this. In fact, I was at Mariposa about 5 years ago. Myself and my husband was up there, but since that he died. And we're up there and we had a grand time. We had on with bread and had my own bread and cakes, we had our own jam and fish, and I brought all cake and all like that. We had a great time. They said Newfoundland was the best. That's what they said up there. We had the jam and they having a big feed, what they call Jig's dinner, and they all had a big crowd come from every place. We had big feeds, really good. Really good. Or knitting, or there's any kind of knitting sweaters or socks or mitts or whatever. Yeah.
Does anyone here still card their own wool?
No, my wheel, I've near a wheel, I've had a wheel aggressive.
Man, you don't know nothing about it.
I was up there, I spin Mariposa up the big wheel, get the cart, and the one ran up, she has no trouble to do that. She said, let me spin. I said, go ahead and spin. And she went going, and all three went up on the wheel, and then I burst off on her. Gosh, I can't do that. I said, there's no trouble to it at all. And I spin. And Hankton sat down and could knit it then.
Knit it.
Do you think young people are missing something by not being into that have those kind of skills these days?
I think so.
Yes, I'd say there. So people all around here don't know what a spinning wheel is. They don't know a card. If it sound, you wouldn't know. I mean, as far as every time they're growing up, all this is going right out. There's nobody knows anything about anything like that now. And I mean, it's a difficulty. I mean, what I'd say, if people were to live like we did live then, I say, if that was to come on today, that they'd all die. They wouldn't be able to get a bit of wood. They wouldn't be, even you go in St. John, go someplace, you say, get us the wood now and get in the floor, and hey, give them nothing, just give them the flour and give them all, say, do it all yourself. I bet you heard they do it. Put bread to it, give them the yeast and give them the flour and give them all, now go at it.
David,
I bet you heard
what kind of changes have you seen?
What
kind of changes have you seen?
A lot of changes there, A lot of changes since my growing up, yeah. A lot of it, in different things, in the farming, and when the farming dropped, we lost a lot of our troubles. It was good stuff to have as a farm, because the language of money earning says provided everything else for you, and the meat and the wood and the trade, and as the woman said. Well, that's better than a nice bit of money, say.
There are a lot of vegetable gardens.
And a lot of
potatoes.
We always have our own vegetables.
Yeah, even now we do have our own vegetables. Now. Yeah.
Is there as much as that these days?
No, not as much.
No, indeed it's not. No.
The young generation don't seem to be interested in it. They're mostly for outside work. That makes it harder when you're living in those kind of places. Because the work don't be here. Not enough for that.
What were some of the hard things about living in ranch?
Oh.
Well, what?
Well, was there any
difficult
times?
Yeah, the hard times. There's hard times. You'd live on 6 cents a day. 6 cents a day, yes, right back in the 30s. I remember it. and you'd be so much free to get out. And if you didn't know you work, you just live along. 6 cents a day, that wasn't very much. And you live on that. They go, that was in the 30s then. You get some kind of an order, you go with your order, whatever you mark down. You wouldn't even get the money that time with it. You just mark it out, and whatever you on this order, that's what you would have to get. Them times. But now, I mean, if anyone's getting any kind of assistance, I mean, they get the money in their hand, they can do what they like, you know, they can do as they please. But them times, you get an order with certain things marked down, flour, sugar, tea, molasses, peas, beans, or whatever, you know, and you get different, whatever you mark down. There's a big difference in that.
You see, there's no sugar then.
I suppose you wouldn't get it. Then we got ration then. They turned the war, the ration was on a little book. Did you ever see them? Get a little book and so much tea or so much sugar. That wasn't a ration number, that wasn't too bad, you know. In the 30s, it was really bad. And you'd work, you'd get up then, to try going fishing, get up in the morning, get up and perhaps you go out, and perhaps you wouldn't have half enough. Such as, you know, like, nothing. And the big old skiffs 10 years ago, just getting to pull them, scull them out the gut, you know, scull them.
No engine.
No engines that time. Wasn't it something? You go way out there and go shove and go pull and get up then and, oh, I don't know, and these have things like...
5 or 6 miles.
Yes. So
How many
something,
men?
Aye.
How many men?
Three and some, 3 more.
2 or 3. Yeah.
No, 5 or 6 mile out.
Yeah.
Yes, go up
Yes,
to
if
shore.
not more. I think it's more even. I think it's going further than that.
That all about 18 feet long or 16 feet long.
Yeah, isn't that something?
What was a good catch?
Pull up. She go ahead then. The boat.
But you go slow.
As you go slow.
Oh, you're supposed to go pretty slow. Yeah.
What was a good catch in a day, though?
I suppose you get 10 cents.
Yeah, if you get that. But I expect that'd be pretty heavy too if you go pull it. Row. Yeah, but 6 or 7 quintals. Most of the baddest, yeah.
Was there more fishing or farming went down here, or was there an equal
Yes, there
amount
was
of
more.
both?
There was more
Where's it
farming
much?
went down that time.
Yeah,
A lot more.
Yeah.
More than fishing, like?
Yes, a lot more. I
Was
can remember.
there people fishing farm, or were there just farmers and... Or
No, fished and
Fishing
farmed.
farm.
Farm.
Yeah. Yes, I can remember when my uncle had about six or 7 cows in his stable. And horse and all like that. I mean, you know, and they hauled the manure like by backs carts and stuff, you know. With the horse and backs and haul manure out of the land. And lots of gardens that time too, they said lots of them.
what kind of changes have you seen in looking around in Branch here?
Oh, I see.
A lot of changes. at
Not
home.
as much
Nothing else.
cattle used to be, as used to be there then. Not as much horse or sheep, not that much now. It used to be. And since now that land is left, there's not fenced. You know,
No,
like fenced
not
around,
land.
you see, that's
That's
nice.
on the farm.
I don't know what happened. I don't know, did things get too dear or what, you know? I mean, like, it's so expensive that you couldn't get anything. And I can't understand it. We have a fish plant down there to Sloat, and never opened this year. Not opened at all. I don't know whose fault. I mean, that meant an awful lot of employment went out of the place. That there's people working the fish plant, they got no work.
What's the problem with the plant?
Oh, I don't know. The plant is good. It is ready for work and all like that. Just whoever is head over it. I don't know whoever's head and whoever's head of it.
Did it operate here at any time?
Yes, it operated all last summer.
How
and
many
people-
worked here?
God, I suppose, how many days? I suppose there's
50.
about 50 or 60
Women now.
women.
That was a fine...
There was maybe even more than that now, I don't know, because I was never working down there. But I know she's employing a big crowd. Now, all the scan did no employment. You know, all the people.
I heard on the news last week they were having some problems with the inshore draggers down here. What?
The inshore
probably
draggers. My son was out fishing, and himself and his friend was out fishing. Dennis Nash was fishing out, and Freddie Roach and all like that. And these draggers went through all the lines and
Took 'em out,
tore them all up. Never looked back to say we're sorry or nothing. We took all the lines what they had. And there was more than that. Wherever boats was there, they took their lines and, you know, the nets, whatever they had, and went off with them. And then took all the fish along with that. If they'd stay at the place, there'd be enough of fish for the crowd here the whole fall. But they took fish, lines and all, and took off with them. And I know they still do it now, I suppose.
Has that been a problem for a while around here?
Well, now,
Conflict
it's only now that they found out about it. I suppose it's a big problem, but it's only now they found out, because why? They found out there's 5 or 6 of these draggers outside, say. When they saw all the fish, they have things on their thing, you know, on the dragger, they can see where the fish is.
Are these local draggers or are they from...
Local draggers. They're not from this country, or they could be from Cape
Halifax.
Breton or Halifax.
Do they?
They have Newfoundland captains on them. See.
Uh-huh.
This is the problem. The Newfoundland captain got licence saying, this is where the licence fits in, that the warden can't do much about him. So he shows his licence, so that's not covering the boat. They don't know what he owns the boat.
Yeah.
Didn't they work out? I heard they probably worked out some kind of an agreement or something, did they?
But he did.
Oh yes, they're allowed, I think, to come back in October, is it?
Yes, when
In
the fishing
October,
season
they're
is
allowed. When the
over.
fishing season over for this, you know, for our boats, we'll say. Because I mean, these are bigger ones, and when this gets so stormy, you know, it's hard for these for our boats to get out, see? I think that's the agreement that they made.
Tapes out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.